as the lid, the cap there on my bottle says, this was brewed in 2020, so it's probably going to be terrible. Hey guys, it's Jim here with another episode of Beers of the British Isles, and a happy new year one and all. Happy 2021. Probably a little bit late in the month to still be saying that, but this is my first video back, so I don't mind. Now, new year, new studio, I guess. The last video I put out there got enough hate that I wanted to take a little break. So now I'm back, fully rested after that short time off, ready to drink some beer. Now, when I thought about this, I thought, right, new year, 2021, everyone's looking forward to this new year. What beer can I start off with? I've got my nice collared shirt, I've got my new look. What beer is good enough for this? I need to start this off with a true legend. So today, we're drinking Old Tom. I'm gonna start by saying, I don't really know what Old Tom is. It's been brewed since 1899, so it's it's been around a little while. Brewed by the Robinson's Unicorn Brewery, and it's been marketed as a barley wine. It's been marketed as a strong ale. I don't really know. All I know is that it's a legend. It's won so many awards over the years, including, I'm not sure if it still says it on the bottle, but World's Best Ale. Now, I first discovered this beer, this 8.5% strong ale, in an Asda in Cambridge, a city I don't live in, a supermarket I wasn't looking for. You know, I kind of just discovered this beer and I just grabbed it, and I knew from that moment that me and Old Tom were going to be friends. So I don't know a lot about the ingredients of this beer. I don't really know a lot about the history of this beer. I think it's best to just dive in and see what it tastes like. Okay, I'm all poured in. My Old Tom is nestled in its glass now. I wouldn't even dream of putting this in the fridge, okay? It's big, bold, dark ale, so you know my rule, if it's dark, keep it out of the fridge. If it's light, put it in the fridge, I guess. Now, this does say on the bottle that it improves with age, and I can attest to that because I once found, well, last year I found a bottle from 2016 and it was absolutely gorgeous. But as the lid, the cap there on my bottle says, this was brewed in 2020, so it's probably going to be terrible. Just kidding, of course. Now, this is, like I say, it's a dark beer. It's super well carbonated, probably one of the most carbonated beers I've ever seen. The head retention's not great, and in this new studio I have a dishwasher, so the glass is definitely clean. That's down to you, Robinson's Unicorn Brewery, not me. I could weirdly smell this as I poured it, and it's not a particularly hoppy beer, so what I'm smelling is interesting. It almost has a dandelion smell. You know, it's very herbaceous. It's very I don't want to say medicinal. It's vinous. Yeah. Yeah, it has a wine-like smell. Like I said, very herbal sort of aroma. I'm not sure if that'll carry through. Let's have a look. God. It instantly just punches you right in the face. So this is 8.5% ABV. I don't know if I said that earlier. It has been marketed as a barley wine. It's now just a strong ale. I think barley wine sort of means something a little bit different nowadays. You have to kind of make the distinction. Yeah, this is a very actually full-bodied beer. Looking at it in the glass, it's so carbonated and there's such little head that I was actually wondering whether I'd made all this up and that it's actually going to be a bit of a watery beer, but it's very full-bodied. It really, really fills your mouth. It's got, like I say, it's very boozy, but it's 8.5%, so it is up there, and it's just super rich and treacly, and you can just sort of mull it over in your mouth for a little while. Yeah, so that herbal character that I mentioned, it does pull through. It does pull through, but it's almost like if you've ever had licorice chocolate and licorice, or well, yeah, that's the best way to describe it, really. There's something about chocolate and licorice that kind of they come together to make something that's kind of like better than the sum of its parts, you know? They both transform each other, and I think that's what's gone on here, because there are a lot of dark flavors in this. There's a bit of roast character, not too much, but there is a real chocolatey undertone to it, and that herbal character couples with that so well to make something that you can really just sit there and think about. You see that there's a touch. I mean, it's quite estery. You know, you can, you know, once if you take a little sip and breathe through your nose, you know, you do get those estery flavors that you can kind of smell. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing in a big bold beer like this, but yeah, it's very interesting, very full-bodied, very, very flavorful. Right, Robinson's Unicorn Brewery started in Stockport in 1827. It seems to me that this was kind of like the first kind of microbrewery. So the reason it's called Unicorn Brewery is that it started in a pub called the Unicorn. Over time, they decided to make their own beer, and then eventually in 1899, old Tom came along, the rascal, and kind of just everything exploded for them. It seems like old Tom really is at the center of this brewery. It's tied to this brewery. Now, they do, it is true brewing heritage. You know, this has been brewed by the same brewery for 120 years now, 122 years, I guess. So it's real, you know, but this beer has been tied to it. Like I say, it's been marketed as a barley wine. It's now a strong ale. It's taken on, like all these beers do, it's taken on many incarnations over the years, but I think around the 50s, Old Tom just got super popular, it seems. And it's won something like 65 awards, most of them being in 1 year. If I was a good video presenter, I would know which year it was, but I don't. So Old Tom and this brewery really, really tied together, and the brewery been doing really good work through Old Tom. They do other stuff too. They make the stadium beer for the best Super League, the best rugby league team in the world, St Helens. The Saints Gold. They also make a beer called the Trooper. You know, the Iron Maiden. It's got the Iron Maiden Eddie logo on it. I'm not such a big fan of that, but I love the song. So Robinsons are kind of there. They're kind of hiding in plain sight, really, flying a little bit under the radar. Okay, let's wrap this up then. Let's wrap up Old Tom. So, I mean, to look at it now that it's kind of been sitting a while, it's fluffed up a little bit. The head is actually come back and the carbonation's reduced, which is kind of the opposite of what normally happens. I can't stress how misleading this beer looks. It's so silky, it's so full-bodied, it absolutely it hits every single millimeter of your mouth and just fills it with flavour. So, and the flavours you're getting are very interesting. For a dark beer like this, you know, especially of this ilk, I mean, you know what I'm saying, right? A beer that is in like a bottle like this that costs £1.25 from Morrison's or Asda, I can't remember which one I got this from, B&M. You expect a certain kind of beer, right? This isn't that at all. It's a very well thought out, very well crafted beer. Like I say, very full-bodied, very not thick, just satisfying to drink. The flavours you get, like I say, I could pick them out. You know, there's chocolate. If you leave it alone for a little while, you start to get that roast character coming through, and that gives way to a little bit of coffee. But really, this beer, the beer itself is greater than the sum of its parts. I've already used that before in this video. But this beer's all about the symphony, the Mozartian symphony. I was going to take the piss out of that actually. On the website they describe this as a Mozartian symphony, but it really is. It's really all the components coming together make an absolutely fantastic beer. Herbal, chocolatey, rich, deep, satisfying, really chewable, something that you can really think about for the whole beer. And you know what, by today's standards, 8.5% isn't even that boozy. When I first picked this up in 2016, like I say, 8.5% was like, it was the end of your night, you know, if you're drinking that. That's not so these days. So if I'm gonna rate this beer on a scale of 0 to 10, and I didn't know this coming in, I'm gonna give this beer a 9. Every time I have this beer, I'm absolutely blown away by it. Every time I have this beer, I find something new in there that I didn't notice the time before. It's absolutely delicious. It's rich, creamy, like I say, and it's probably the best value for money you're ever gonna get. Like I say, £1.25 from select supermarkets, Asda, Morrison's, B&M, or thereabouts. You know, £1.50. It's one of the cheaper options, and in my opinion, it's one of the best options out there if you're in the mood for something like this. So go ahead, grab it. Grab Old Tom from one of those supermarkets I've already mentioned. And as you drink Old Tom, please stick on an absolute classic favourite song of mine, Tommy the Cat by Primus. Not everyone's cup of tea, but those of you that like it will love it. And I think that probably goes for the beer too. So until next time, guys, Happy New Year. Cheers.